What's up, y'all? This is 10X Generation, and this is my road to $1 billion. So in the previous episode, I talked about this new application, Tap Deck, and that's still underway. There has been a couple of challenges when developing this application, but things are moving forward. I do work on it every single day, and it will come out pretty soon. I'm thinking in less than 2 weeks. That's what I'm shooting for, less than 2 weeks. Because there's actually a lot of moving parts. It's not just the app that I need to make. I have to make the app, and that includes all the features, and then has to be working, bug fixes, and all that. But there's also a PC component, because what the app does is connects to your PC and allows you to remote control it, and it turns your phone into a customizable controller, right? So I have to make the app and all the things that goes along with that. And then also the PC app, which is completely different in a completely different language, and make that. And for that, I was just to make it as simple as possible, I was using C to do the actual server communication, and then I wrap that around JavaScript to make the app actual UI of it, and it's real simple. And I use Electron for that. But of course, everything is getting simpler because, again, this is my first rodeo. I've done this before. But in addition to that, because there's a little bit more complication with some issues I've had there. But in addition to that, I also have to make a landing page because you have to download the PC application from somewhere, and it's good to have a website for advertising purposes and things like that. So I need to make that, and the website I got very little of it done. I haven't done much of the website. But what I need to do is basically, buy the domain and then host it on my server. I have a server that's up in the cloud so that I don't have to pay for hosting every single time I want to make a new website. But part of the struggle of that is that I need to make my own website. And of course, that's something else that I need to do. And that is written in, what is that? React, and React JavaScript. But again, it's okay because this isn't my first rodeo. I've made tons of websites. I think I'm pretty proficient in React. And I just make it publicly accessible, and then we're good. And that kind of but that build works. Having it all my websites on this one server, that works. Unless it just gets astronomical traffic, just like stupid amounts of traffic, which it's likely not, because it's just a download page and it's just gonna, it just doesn't do much. So it's fine. The way it's happening now is fine. And there's no additional cost besides just paying for the domain. So it is gonna take a little long, but like I said, 2 weeks. I think I should be done with all of it in 2 weeks. And we can start making this money. But one of the challenges that I ran into is that when you download an application for the PC from a website, how does your computer know that the download is from where it says it is? Right? Make sure someone's not pretending to be some other application, right? How do you avoid that? And that's the purpose of a code signing certificate. And this is something that you have to renew consistently, and it does a whole bunch of stuff in the background. And while I was in the process of finalizing the PC application of the app, I realized I couldn't find my code signing key. They give you an actual physical USB key, it's like a dongle, and I lost it. And it's just like, oh my gosh, and me losing this thing means I lost let's just say a good amount of money. So I got to get that replaced, and that's going to take a little bit of time to physically ship through the mail. But it's okay because mistakes happen, and this is all part of the learning experience. I know from now on that when things are important, don't store it with things that aren't important. Just keep that, it seems obvious, but I get loose with stuff sometimes, and kind of, it's fine. Next time I'll keep it in a safe, so I won't. Even though it's not trying to keep anyone out, it's just all my secure stuff is in there. So yeah, that's something that is kind of a bummer, but we keep chugging forward. So that's the first biggest update, TapDeck. The second biggest update is that I was looking through my stats, as you should do and as I do on a consistent basis, and I realized that, now you could call me dumb, but I realized that most of my money from my app isn't coming from ads. I've been putting a lot of energy into ads, and only in less than 20% of all my revenue for the entire year has been coming from those ads, which is not good. And the fact that I haven't spotted this sooner is, again, kind of a blunder moment. But turns out most of my traffic comes from so I need to do some more explaining. So when you click on a link, let's say you click on a link to an app, and then it has all those extra parameters in the URL. One of them is the UTM source or whatever. And that basically just tells Google or whatever destination you're going to where you came from. When I was, promoting my app in the early stages, I would be on Reddit, just, kind of promoting the app, telling people about it, making posts, just doing the kind of guerrilla marketing, just spreading it out there. I had no knowledge of this UTM source and all this other thing, and, campaign and all this stuff. So when I look in Google Analytics, it registers all those clicks as unset, right? And this is up to 70% of all my traffic and all my revenue. So it's untracked, and so that's so all my links from my website that I put on Reddit, that I put on YouTube, that I put on Instagram, that I put on Facebook, all these traffic, I had no way of actually determining where it's coming from, which, like I said, was a mistake. But now that I see it, it tells me that, first of all, those untracked sources that I mentioned are the most valuable, right? And ads are kind of just like, it should be something I should be focusing on, really, just looking at the data. It's not something that I should be focusing on. And because of that revelation, and with the advent of AI, I am in the process, I have someone making it for me because I just don't have time to make another application. I have someone making me a bot that will basically just scour Reddit for posts relating to my application and just, dropping a link in the comments. And the beauty of it, this AI stuff, is that I can make it very believable. And it could talk to you, go back and forth. It can read the posts and then provide suggestions for advertising purposes within context, which is even better than me sitting there and, trying to do that. Of course, there are like anti-spamming rules and all this stuff. But again, all this stuff is just programmable. You don't have to make it only do, advertising things. You can have it write replies and everything for just, funny posts or whatever. So the whole account looks more believable. And even though it's not done, it is remarkably simple to make this stuff. Like the guy I'm only paying $100, right, to make this thing. And of course, I could do it for free, but again, I just don't have the time and I don't want to do it. But, it kind of leads into the dead internet theory that most of the internet and its interactions aren't actually real. And I don't know how well it's going to work, but if it works comparably to what I was able to do, this may be a turning point as people will hop on this trend. This may be a turning point of advertisement in general. People are used to ads and can almost subconsciously block it out. When you see an ad, you turn off your brain, you kind of stop watching it. At least that's what I do. I never click on ads. But if I see a comment talking about some junk, I'll search it up right then and there. And it's even better on Reddit because you can put in links and stuff. So you can even track all that stuff. Which is because I want to see how effective it is. But let's say it is really effective. That's a potential business idea. Advertising for the AI age. It's just a bot that, that you pay some bot master, and then, the bots will advertise these things all over the place. And I said the dead internet theory because it's easy to make, and I'm sure I'm not the only person or the first person to think of this, and it's probably way more prevalent than most of us realize. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing next. I do kind of feel a little, I'm gonna be honest, I told my brother about it. He was like, don't do that, man. And I do feel a little like queasy, not queasy, but like a little scummy for it, because it's like, but it's no different than me going through the internet and typing in responses and stuff and trying to slide in my app everywhere. It's done automated, and it'll be done better than me. I just have to get make sure I don't get banned. But yeah, that's the second important thing. The third important thing is that I actually got a call from this company. Actually, there's two more. One is short. My app has reached 500,000 downloads, which is amazing. I'm so thankful for it. And I keep getting emails about people wanting to buy the app for much more than what the app is making, right? They want to provide, they're going to give me upfront 3 times the annual revenue, which is pretty cool. But I'm at the point now where it's like, I don't need money like that. And I'm still hopeful that I can make this app go absolutely, blow up, right? So I don't entertain any of those. That's the third thing. The fourth thing is that I got reached out by another company, and we have a meeting this Sunday about some sort of ad deal. I don't know exactly who they are or what they do, but we're going to see in the meeting. I'll have more information about that next time I make a video. But that seems pretty interesting. Could be an opportunity for me to make more revenue. But from the little bit that I know about what they do, they're in gaming, and I think they're just like an advertising company. So what they will want to do is put ads inside of my app, which I don't really want because that ruins user experience. Who wants a controller that has ads in it? It's like, but it is what it is. Well, I'll hear them out. It's pretty interesting. So that's really it. Things have been good. Things have been very well. Yeah, that's really it. So thank you all so much for watching. This is 10X Generation, and I'll see you guys next time.